Hey,
Dude, I'm still crying.
I know here we are still cracking up laughing from the
I know. I'm just trying to stop.
Yeah, that music, the jazz opener did not freaking help. I'm just gonna say that.
No, we didn't.
This is going to be gentlemen. How are y'all doing today?
We're doing great, man. I can tell you right now that this is going to be the best show you ever had.
Agreed, 100%.
Say that every single show.
He said that last time, and we lost like 10 followers after he went on. No, I think so too. Hey, every show has been the best show we've had. I'm telling you, Hunter and I say that after every one. So you're right. This one is going to be the best show we've had. You are correct, man.
Absolutely.
I was digging the new vibe from the expodacious, freshly shorn cowboy over here. It's like don't even
whole different person
anymore. Yeah.
Hey, you know what? I lost 5 pounds. I'm not kidding you. I swear to God.
Did you save the mustache in a bag or something? For later.
Yeah, you want to buy it? I'll give it to you for a good price. Looks like you need some hair.
Hey, I could use some too. Why don't you pass that around?
Oh my gosh, man! Oh my Lord, man! We are never going to get through this show. We're never going to get to the main topic. I mean, we're going to be joking too much. Dan, how's your day, man? What do you got going on right now, brother?
Oh, a lot of things. So we over here at Linkage, we are executing a relaunch of our sales strategy. We brought on a new director of sales, ramping up our recruiting, and between that and managing the ramp up for the Broker Carrier Summit, I don't know which way is up right now. So it's been a very busy start to 2024.
Well, that's a good problem to have, man. Like we were saying, busy is a good problem to have.
Exactly.
Hunter, how's your day going, man? How are you getting along?
It's beautiful, man. Another wonderful day in logistics, living the dream. Getting adjusted to the new year, these new rates, and waiting for tomorrow. Day by day.
I know that's right, bro. Day by day is definitely the way that I'm taking 2024, man. Like I am. Last year was such a shit show, man. I mean, I don't think there is another word that is better except for clusterfuck, because that's what last year was. It was just, man. No matter, it's like no matter how optimistic you tried to be, like something just kept happening to screw things up for everybody, man. So taking it day by day. Today was a bad day. I got woke up at 2:00 this morning with my customer calling me and saying, "Hey, dude, where's my truck?" They should be in the dock. Well, they're not. And then, of course, you try calling them. Driver doesn't answer. Dispatcher doesn't answer. Finally, get woke up again, 5:30 morning. Customer's like, "Hey, man, where's my truck?" "I'm getting you a truck right now. I've already forgot about the other guy. We're getting you something." Anyway, guy said, "Oh, well, I thought the pickup was for 2 p.m. It says 2 on the Raycon." How long have you been driving, bro? Like, when did we stop all of a sudden stop using military time?
Yeah. It's amazing. The market changes. The excuses are still the same.
Right.
No,
right.
the excuses multiply.
They do multiply.
Yeah, they do. But I don't know. And then I had every single load that I had booked today fall off in the matter of like 2 hours, and I do mean every single one. Every one. Carrier cancel. And I got all of them rebooked but one. But let me tell you, we all know how that is, man. When you tell a customer truck is booked in an ETA, and then the next thing you got to say is, "Well," you're on the edge of your seat all day, man, with your butt cheek.
Hey, I got a helpful tip for you there, Pedro. Pay your carriers.
I do pay That's pretty crappy, man. I do pay my carriers. I pay well.
Write that down, Rob.
It don't apply to me. There's been plenty of drivers on here that have done business with me to say I pay well, man. I know how it is, dude. Some of them I think were valid. One of them, the guy, dude, he says he's still waiting for a lumper check from a broker that has not answered his phone all day long. The guy's sitting 10 miles away from where my load is at, and Macro Point shows him still sitting there. So him, I believe, but think about that all day for a lumper check, man. Broker's not answering. You touch nobody. Another guy, it was 2 trucks, and this one I believe too. He says his fuel cards got shut off. That his factoring company shut his stuff off. I believe that because I have friends that are carriers, and that is something that happens. So the other ones, the drivers just said they could make the pickups, whatever. So it is what it is. But thank you for being mean to me, Jeff, and trying to put me on the spot.
Me put you on the spot, really?
Yeah, I know, right? I know that's true. All right, so we are going to get into this here. Everyone knows Jeff Dickinson, been on the show with us before. If y'all on LinkedIn, everybody, well, I don't know, you may not recognize him here because he's missing a little hair. So presenting Jeff Dickinson, everybody.
Glad to be on the show, the ex-bodacious cowboy.
Ex-bodacious, I know. Oh man, and Dan Lindsay with the Broker Carrier Summit. Jeff talks about them all the time. Again, if you're on LinkedIn or on Facebook and a lot of the trucking groups, y'all know who the Broker Carrier Summit is. It's right there in the name what their purpose is, but their mission and their goal is not all said within their title. And Dan is going to hit us with all that they are about and some things that we can look forward from them in 2024. Man, words are hard.
Say that 10 times fast.
There's a lot of words that started with F right in a row there.
I know. I do it all the time on the show, man. It stumbles out. So before we get into that, though, we are going to take our sponsor break. Hunter and I are really excited about this one. Like, seriously. This product that we're trying to help these guys roll out with is something that we sorely need in this industry. Just like I said in Tech and Tools Tuesday yesterday, a big problem with this industry is a lot of things are pretty much monopolized. How you get your carrier package done, there's only a handful of companies that everybody trusts to do that. Where do you get your rates from? Well, everybody knows what the main one is. There may be like 2 others that everybody trusts. So we need something to shake up the game, and that is what Lane Runner is doing. Their platform, I cannot say enough about it. It's absolutely amazing. We'll have them on the show at the end of the month. But this informational commercial that they put together tells you a lot. And please go down to them. Information at the bottom of the screen. Give them a shout. Let them know that the Logistics Lounge sent y'all over, and you'll get a special discount.
Welcome to the future of trucking with Lane Runner. Up-to-the-minute, trustworthy spot market freight rates. Experience real-time, full truckload spot market rates at your fingertips. Stay ahead with our advanced rate alert system, ensuring you never miss a market move. Gain insights with our detailed high and low paying lane reports. Make informed decisions with comprehensive market reports tailored for your business needs. Lane Runner, accurate, real-time spot market freight rates at your fingertips. Efficiency, reliability, and profitability all in one platform. Join Lane Runner today and take your logistics to the next level. Spot market, spot on.
You know y'all like that shit, don't you? Yeah, that dude. Hey, those guys are freaking awesome, man. Some of them are from logistics. One guy's from the tech industry. The other dude is from marketing. Like, just a bunch of cats that see that this is something that we need, man, and are putting it out, man. They're freaking awesome folks, man. We're super stoked about that. Hunter, you want to know something else I just noticed? Is that
go on, tell me.
We always seem to have sponsors that complement each other, because just like with AccuBid Pro, when you do business using Lane Runner and you start getting those rates and start winning more money and making more money, you're going to have somewhere to send those invoices to, right, to collect that money, all them big stacks of paper that you're making. And the only people you're going to have to call is Shoreline Capital. Clinton and his team over there going to take care of you. Remember, make sure you tell them you heard about it in the Logistics Lounge. All right. Before we move into the news, I want to get to some of these comments. Bill, what's up? CCR on the back. He does that, Bill.
Waiting for you.
Get out of here.
He does it just for you, Bill. You made that comment one time, and he does. Everybody's like,
I did it last Friday, and he wasn't there. He said it was Grand Sunday, so
that's true.
We're respecting it. We're running it back. Glad to see you here, Bill.
That's right, Claudia. We're live on LinkedIn. I'm watching it right now. So yeah, go.
Yeah,
back.
I got back to her on the YouTube page.
Tim says he's watching Claudia. Look at there, yo! I'm trying to get to that summit. Can't wait to hear more.
Good deal. Let's go.
All you want to hear, Claudia, you just stay tuned. So we can go ahead and get to Dan. We're going to do our quick little news segment here. This one just popped up in my thing today. Actually think this one is mighty freaking cool. Something that I personally have not thought about, and I don't hear anyone talking about this particular subject matter. So all right. Sorry, hold on. Let me move my screen here, man. What happens when you try to do 15 things at once? And Hunter's over there not doing anything, not helping me with none of this.
Old technology, Rob.
All right. It sucks, man, because even though I got 3 screens, I still have too many windows. So like now I need to buy a 4th screen. It's like it never ends, man. All right. This one right here, as y'all see, comes from Freight Waves. It was put out yesterday. Obviously, as you see the title, the Supreme Court rejects review in broker liability case. Excuse me, leaving the issue unresolved. And here is what that issue is. So the case is stemming from a suit regarding a man being killed after being struck by a semi in 2017. The man's widow brought a suit against the trucking company, which she did win that suit and won $10 million in April of 2022. But she also decided that she was going to bring suit against Global Trans, which is the broker who booked the carrier. She's saying that they were liable too, since again, they hired the carrier, they should hold responsibility. Now, this case was rejected by a federal district court and the 7th Circuit Court of Appeals, and they cited a Federal Aviation Administration Authorization Act statute. Again, with the freaking government. God, Jesus Lord. Oh, man, we're talking the last show. All right. Federal Aviation Administration Authorization Act statute. She then appealed that to the Supreme Court, who also rejected it based on the same thing. I would go and read what that statute is, but I'm not a lawsy guy. Maybe Matt Leffler could explain it, but it's basically what's that, Jeff?
He could.
Yeah, it is. It's a whole bunch of legalese, and to me, honestly, even when you read the article, it's like I don't see how that is what they rejected on. Although I am happy that they did. However, there are people rooting for the court to take up on the matter because we would like to finally put to rest the question of where a broker's liability starts and stops in matters such as these involving carriers. As for now, there is no ruling on it if a broker can be held liable under tort law for the actions of a truck that they hired. The question of liability, though, is not limited to injury or death because Landstar fought and won a case involving their liability in a cargo theft issue that they won in an appeals court down in Florida. On the flip side of it, though, C.H. Robinson was found liable in a circuit court for a wreck in 2016 that left a man crippled in an accident that involved a truck that was hired by C.H. Robinson. They also took that one to the Supreme Court, and they denied to take up the issue on that one as well. That was in last year, and then C.H. Robinson settled out of court on the matter. So this one right here, can't believe that there's not more people that talk about it. It is a really good subject matter to bring up. Me personally, I don't think the broker should be held liable in this instance. I don't think a broker should be held liable in dang near anything involving what a truck or a carrier does to an extent. Now if the broker had told them, hey, drive off the clock, or, told them to do something dangerous and they could prove it, yes, 100%. But, as brokers, we have no control over what that carrier's doing. We can tell you when they're going to be there, but we can't make them be there at that time. You know, we can tell them to make sure they secure the load, but that doesn't mean they're going to. So I myself wish that maybe the Supreme Court or a high court would take up this matter and maybe rule on some of these cases, you know, so we could try to put to rest this issue. Because, you know, obviously this is a big thing. Coincidentally, she sued the trucking company. The lady that this case is about sued the trucking company for $10 million, but she's trying to sue the broker for twice that. I mean, like, just think about that.
That's insane.
Well, first of all, I don't think the lady was the one who decided to go and sue the broker. I think the lady's attorney was like, "Hey, we got 10 million here. Let's go get 20 million more from somebody else with deeper pockets."
Oh yeah, 100% agree. 100%.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, and
she had to present the case and what happened, and so she wanted to get some some more information about it, and went to an attorney and got his thoughts and convinced her, this is the right thing to do.
Yeah.
No, I don't hate on her. I mean, I'm not mad at her at all. I mean, I understand. Hey, she lost a loved one. I mean, and honestly, if I was in the same situation, and it wasn't a broker, I mean, I would sue everybody could. I would, if there was a stoplight, I would sue the manufacturer of the fucking stoplight and try to find it. Like, I'm not upset with her, but I do like the fact that this is being brought to the forefront a little bit, because again, this is something people don't talk about. I mean, where does the liability between our transaction between us as brokers and carriers, or shippers and brokers, or shippers and carriers, where does that line in the sand stop? You know what I mean? Where are we relieved of liability and responsibility, and where's the other party pick that up? I mean, obviously that trucking company, I hate to say it, but that lady will probably never see a penny of that $10 million, because I looked up that trucking company and they're small, man. They were like a couple trucks, you know what I mean? It was nothing major. So, this is a serious issue, man. When money gets involved, and especially the death of loved ones, then people will do whatever they got to do and go after who they ever got to go after. And on their point of it, this could be a waste of money for that lady. Maybe this lawyer, is charging her all this money. She spends all this money to take this case to the Supreme Court, and she lost money on it. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of things involved here. Just something I rolled across today when I was going through the news, and again, was interested in it. Hadn't heard anybody talk about it, and thought I'd bring it up and get people's opinions on it.
No, absolutely.
All right, Hunter, you want to do the honors and introduce our guest here?
I'll let the video do some talking here. Welcome to the show, fellas, and everybody watching right now. If you haven't seen already, we got the Expodacious Cowboy Jeff Dickinson here, and Mr. Dan Lindsay with Broker Carrier Summit. So glad to have you gentlemen here.
Glad to be on, man.
Glad
Thanks
to be
for
here.
having us.
Sorry, guys, I'm just going through these comments. Chris, Chris, you need to go, man. You need to go get your glasses checked, man.
Hey, look at his cheeks getting all red and stuff like that, man. That's the nerves, man.
Just a jolly little fellow over here.
He's all happy and jolly, and somebody loves me.
I take it where I can get it, man.
Hey, Dan, whatever that link was that you sent me, I cannot open it. If you want to send it to me again, I don't know if it's something you want me to put on the screen.
I'll send it to you again here.
Okay. Cool. All right. So, Dan, whenever you're ready, brother, you just go into your little spiel, my friend.
Fire in the hole.
Fire in the hole. Let's go.
Let's go.
So Broker Carrier Summit was born out of, so a little bit of background on me. I've been in the logistics world for my entire career almost. So going on 20 years, and been in brokerage since 2013. So just over 10 years. And one of the things that has been a consistent theme since, as far as I can remember, is brokers and carriers don't get along. And that's probably the understatement of the show right there. The history between brokers and carriers is fraught with distrust. Each side has their own issues to blame. And I got out of the freight industry in 2019. I went to go work in the consulting world, figured I would get out while I was clean. But the consulting world was way too slow for me, and I decided to jump back in and started my own freight brokerage with my partner, John Gerchik. We started Linkage Logistics March 1st, 2020, just in time for COVID to shut down the entire world. And ran that for a couple of years. And one of the reasons I got back into the freight industry was because I saw a lot of problems that needed fixing. And one of the problems that needed fixing was this relationship between brokers and carriers. And so the Broker Carrier Summit is an idea that was born over the last couple of years. We had our first summit last April. We had 75 people in Indianapolis. The original idea was to have a one-day seminar, like a day-long workshop of things that brokers and carriers needed to talk through, things like communication. I had a little session called the 10 Commandments of Freight Broker Motor Carrier Relationships, where we talked about things like transparency, communication, asking the right questions, had a long talk about double brokering. Long story short, at the end of it, we asked a couple of questions. One was, did you get value out of it? And every hand went up. Another one was, would you want to do this again? And to my surprise, every hand, every carrier, every broker's hand went up. And so we had our second event last October and tripled our attendance to 227 in Tampa, Florida. And the goal is to create an environment where brokers and carriers can come and collaborate and rebuild the trust gap that exists between them. And what we really try and push is a authentic environment where communication, where conversations and collaboration can happen. So all of our sessions are geared toward topics that both brokers and carriers can not only benefit from, but that can start conversations, crucial conversations that carriers and brokers need to have with each other. So if we have a conversation, if we have a breakout session around rates, I want the carriers to say to the brokers, hey, why do you always rape us on price? I want the brokers to say, hey, why do you guys always shoot for the moon? I want those conversations to happen. We want those conversations to happen, because until those conversations happen in a mutually beneficial environment, no one's going to resolve any of the issues we have. And so it's been a really overwhelmingly positive experience. Again, we've had feedback from prior attendees that say, hey, this is the best thing I've done in my career in logistics, is to come to this event, which that's truly humbling.
Yeah.
That's incredible, man. And that's a, great point to make there. It's different than, having conversations with carriers on the phone over LinkedIn, whatever, but to bring, both sides into one single room and bring up those conversations and have the actual talk of, hey, this is what's going on here. Please break this down for me. I can definitely see that making a world of difference. And just what I'm seeing from the relationships made, I mean, it's really great. And you said you started last year doing this?
Yeah. So our first event was last April, and our second event was in October.
That's awesome. Yeah, I thought it would have been going on for much longer than that. Seeing what Jeff has spoken about it and doing some research on y'all. That's
I did too, man. I did too. It's funny you say, like, I was sitting. I'm glad you said a Hunter, because I was gonna say that. And I was like, nah, I'm not gonna make it seem like I don't know who they are.
Well, no, that's okay. Nobody does, really. I mean, right. We're in a huge industry. We're a new idea. I think one of the things that's the most powerful driver of this is this conversation between brokers and carriers is extremely long overdue.
Absolutely.
And everybody has known this conversation needs to take place, but no one has ever actually
done it,
to my knowledge, done it on a macro level that says, hey, let's get both sides of the table together in the same place, in a peaceful environment. That was my biggest fear or concern with the first one was we're going to get a bunch of brokers and a bunch of carriers in the same freaking room, and nobody's going to die.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, especially coming after COVID times, you just have a bunch of people griping and complaining on Facebook and LinkedIn, and it's like, man,
yeah. Well,
imagine those two dudes getting in a room together.
Yeah, well, and that was very refreshing because like there's a lot of talk on both sides about how there's a lot of animosity between brokers and carriers, but if you get the right ones in the same place, having the right conversations, there's more collaboration available in our industry than people would give it credit for.
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're both trying to do business. It's not rocket science. You got a truck, I have the loads. Let's make it shake.
Absolutely.
This job can be easy.
I want to say, I mean, although you already said a lot, but one thing that stood out to me, you just said, is getting the right ones in there to do the talking. Because I tell you, I was going to make a joke, but by the time we're on, I'm going to say that the reason we ain't had none yet is because ain't nobody been able to find a security force willing to chaperone the event.
Yeah.
That's true.
But I thought about calling some of my old buddies that I serve with and say, hey, you guys want to get an extra little bit of money on the side here and be my security detail?
That's right. Come on.
Tell you what, hey, man, I don't know what branch you are, but brokers and carriers, it's like Army and Marines. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean?
That's right. I was the latter. So
this whole broker carrier thing. I started my business up in 2019, and one of the reasons that I did it, and a lot of people heard me say this, I hate brokers. I fucking hate brokers, and that's why I became one. It's just what Dan is talking about. There's a big missing piece between the carriers and the brokers. It's the shippers, and the thing is that when I dealt with brokers and carriers, I had this saying, and I still live by it. I don't fire carriers. Carriers fire themselves. And what I mean by that is that if a carrier commits to the requirements that's necessary in order to exceed my shipper's expectations, they better live by it. And if they don't, I'm going to call them out and get rid of them. I don't care if they're on a $4 million worth of business or 1 million, doesn't matter. And the same with brokers. If they say what they're going to do, it's like ISO, say what you do what you say, and document it. Prove to me that you've got the credibility and the background in order to meet my requirements and get the job done. That's why I hired you. And so there are a lot of things happen. Now, this February will be my 44th year in logistics, long time. And this stuff, what Dan is talking about, has been going on for 40 years. This isn't something that just happened. They've always been bickering because of the mistrust, miscommunication, the non-collaboration, and we need to put an end to it because it affects all. We have to get back to transparency to a certain degree and understand each other's griefs and bickering and everything like that. And what Dan and the team did by putting this together actually is solving a lot of the problems, because when we had the registration night and get together and all that down in Tampa, what I recognized was that brokers were on one side of the room, carriers were on the other side of the room. They had a few cocktails, and before you knew it, from being out here, they became like this. They started engaging each other, talking about their differences. They started sitting next to each other on the breakout sessions, during the whole thing. It was just so much knowledge that was shared that had great takeaway. And that one person that I spoke with said something negative about it and was asking, when's the next one?
Yep. Yeah, well, you bring up a good point too, Jeff. The people and the companies that ultimately lose when brokers and carriers don't get along, sure, the brokers lose and the carriers lose, but the shippers lose also. Absolutely. If you know that there is an underlying layer of distrust between the people that you're trusting to move your freight, that's not only is that a point of stress, it reveals inefficiencies, and your Absolutely. Customers are going to feel the effects of that as well as a shipper.
Yeah, I mean, they're looking to ease their way of business. They don't want to multiply it and make it even more complex and more stressful for them. You're trying to take a lot of their shit off their table, take it underneath your umbrella, and do things that they never thought somebody could do for them. That's the object, and that's what I talk about on my podcast, and I talk to everybody about that. I mean, those who know me know, I'm going to tell them I'm not going to pull any punches because I came from that side of the business. I understand that, and it's so important, and it really is. It's so important. Do you hear that?
I was over here scrolling through. So what are some of the things, I guess, you guys are running 3 days. What's the flow of the conference look like? I mean, I know you have keynote speakers, but, when we're talking about bringing both sides together, what's some of the content that you guys are pushing out there and really trying to bring to light?
Yeah. So one of the things that I'm really excited about and really proud about is our agenda. So our agenda might look a little odd to some people because if you've been to any conference in any industry, you see this long laundry list of breakout sessions and chats and workshops and keynotes and all that. We don't really have a huge number of sessions, and the reason is we want everyone to benefit from all the content that we have. So I was at a couple of conferences last year and registered for them, got there and was trying to figure out which sessions do I go to, because there's 58 different sessions and there's a day and a half worth of time, and I can go to like 4. So I pay $1,000, right? And I go and I hear 4 talks and some keynotes, but I miss out on like 40 other or 45 other sessions that I would have benefited from. What we want people at the summit to be able to do is say, hey, you get to participate in all the content. So all of our breakout sessions are round robin. And so we have between 4 and 6 breakout sessions, and every group that we divide people into rotates through those sessions. And all of the sessions are going to be panel led. So they're discussion oriented, they're question and answer oriented. Again, the purpose is to promote conversation and discussion between carriers and brokers. And that's one of the things that I'm really most excited about, because those conversations have been phenomenal.
Oh, they have been.
I'll say, man, that and I'm not trying to compare, but I am trying to compare. And this scene is kind of like what we're doing here, man. And what I mean by that is, once you get people out of their comfort zone and realize that everybody is not always suit and tie, and everybody's not always jeans and work boots, that there's things that we have in common outside of the industry that we can use to help bring ourselves together in the industry. You know what I mean? And what I mean by that is, hey, we may hate each other on the fact that as a broker, you think I don't pay you enough on the rate. And me as a broker, I think you as the carrier ask too much freight. But hey, man, we both like Ducati motorcycles. And, and that stuff leads into, and it shows that we're regular people and helps bridge that divide is what I'm saying. And I honestly can't believe that there's not more of these things out there, or that someone hasn't really tried to push this before, but I can kind of see why, because that divide is huge, man. I mean, there's a lot of carriers don't understand broker side, and a lot of brokers don't understand carrier side. I'm fortunate enough that I understand both. Jason Raybon and I actually talked about that today. He was like, Rob, he said, you're lucky, man, that you can talk to these carriers and call them on their bullshit or give them advice when they say they can't do something or whatever. And so I love it, man. I think that we can't have enough of this, and I'm glad that you guys are doing multiple shows a year. Most events don't do that either, man. They don't.
Yeah. You want to know why? It's freaking exhausting. That's why. You got to come up with new content every 6 months. I'd say this though. One of the things that I'm really excited about Kansas City. This is something new, Jeff. I don't know if I've told you this or not, but we're redoing lunch.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is exciting. So one of the biggest things that we're trying to accomplish is we want to get carriers and brokers to talk about doing business with each other. So for lunch on the main day, on the Tuesday, the 23rd, we're having a lunch and lanes lunch hour. And what we're going to do is we're going to divide the main ballroom up into 4 sections: van, reefer, flatbed, and other. And if you are a carrier or a broker that moves one mode or the other, go sit and have lunch with other carriers and brokers that move that freight. The van section might need to be a little, larger, but I think it's going to be great. I'm looking forward to a lot of collaboration there.
Dan, I just want to say, all of those things people talk about Marines being not so bright, I don't think.
Hey, you gotta eat the right kind of crayon. There's a special kind of crayon that you have to eat.
Hey, listen, I know Dan pretty good. Just give him a nice tall glass with a couple cubes in it of some bourbon, and you got him going. You got him going.
Then you get all the ideas flowing.
All of you don't do our best thinking.
But something. You brought something up, Robert, about communication and understanding each other's. That's why I preach a lot. And those who have watched my podcast, I do things a lot different. I work from the inside out rather than the outside in. And just think of the benefits if brokers and carriers understood what the shipper did, how they work, why they work the way they do, where they work, when they do it, and why. It just understand it's the same thing with the relationship between the carrier and the broker when you really think of it, right? There's ways that the carriers operate. There's specific ways that brokers operate. And if they just understood why they do the things that they do, I think they would have a better perspective in how to engage each other, instead of being condescending and also not being willing to work with each other. These are the things that will bring them much closer together if they just ask those pertinent questions. It's not a hard question to ask when you think about it.
Yeah.
I am, man, I'm so with you. My kind of has to do with it in a way now, but my dad has told me something that I have used when it comes to sales. And it's when you ask a question, there's only a yes or no answer. And although the questions you're talking about aren't yes or no, it's like most of the time people are just afraid to ask because they think of all the other answers they may get. You know what I mean? They don't simplify it and ask the broker, hey, how do you do your rates, or why do you do your rates this way? But most of us, it's a simple answer. We go off data, we factor in our little margin, so forth, so on, outspits the rate, but they think it's something much more nefarious to it than that, and they want to ask.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
brokers, it's the same thing, asking care, why do you think you deserve 350 a mile? We think we're going to get this whole big, stupid, long spiel, and really it just comes down to that's how much it costs me to run my truck, you know what I mean, and get a little bit more information on it.
Yeah,
well,
and that's one of the biggest things at the Broker Carrier Summit is that one thing. Why? Seriously, why do you have these discrepancies? Why do you have these misunderstandings? Why can't you work together? If you went up to a carrier and you go, why do you dislike this broker? Or why do you dislike brokers? And then ask the same questions of brokers. Why do you dislike carriers? Think about that. If you put them up against the wall and ask them what kind of response they're going to give you, and now bring those responses together and start mingling and understanding wise.
Yeah. Well, we had that comment made at the first summit, the very first comment of the very first summit in Indianapolis. Jeff loves this story. So we're there, and there was 75 people in the room. And we asked, I decided to open it up by going around and asking people where they were from and why they were here. And the first guy, big trucker, old school guy, got up and said, he told us his name. He's like, I'm here because I hate brokers, but I've never fucking met one. And at that moment, I looked over my shoulder and like one of the hotel staff had opened the door next to me. And I flipped out. I froze for like 5 minutes trying to stumble over my words because I thought somebody was going to come and stab me in the side or something. But no, he came up to us afterwards and he said he went to the bar with one of the other speakers, with Troy Wheaton at Leonard's. He's like, you know what? This was a great event. I no longer hate brokers. I'm glad I met you guys, and this was a truly rewarding experience. So that's what we're trying to facilitate.
Yeah,
and that's something else too. A lot of the people who start these kinds of things, they want to be the one out in front, and they want to be, main stage. If you notice on the agenda, I don't have a huge speaking role because I don't want the event to be centered around me. I don't want the event to be centered around one individual. We are here. The summit is here, not so people can pay money to see me talk, but so that we can facilitate the conversations that need to happen between the people that need to have the conversations. So.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, and like kind of going back to the point of asking the whys or having these conversations. We talked about it last week. I forget who with, but it's gotten so transactional between brokers and carriers. You put them up against the wall and they're like, why? Well, it's because I'm going to make, I just want my money. They don't care to ask any questions. They just want to argue, go about their day, and then whoever they can get for the dollar they need, boom, that's done. I'll never talk to you again. But in all reality, and Jeff, I hear you talking about this all the time, that's not the way to go, because carriers can be your best friends just as much as, a broker can be your best friend as a carrier, like, hey,
correct.
I use you on this lane. We do this all the time. Like, what's going on? What's going out of there? Like, where are you sending your truck? And that can open up avenues for all kinds of different business and just really peace of mind, because especially in markets like these days, there's nothing worse than having, a new load tossed on your plate and you have nobody to talk to except for anybody who comes across your board on DAT.
Yeah. Who's already read all your bad reviews.
Yeah. The thing is that you have to take care of ones who take care of you. If you get that mindset and you don't try to fill a void and only use them because you have to use them that one time and it's like high and buy. No, feed them year round. Build that long-term business relationships. Build that corral of carriers. Build that trust, that partnership. That's what everybody's looking for. At least I hope, and that's what we're trying to do at the Broker Carrier Summit, and why Dan did that separation of the 4 tables, 4 areas, at the meeting, to break that down. I have these lanes. Oh, you work in those lanes? Yeah, I've got 15 trucks. That's my meat and potatoes right there. I can help you out. Boom. Okay, fine. I've got annual business. It's dedicated business, la, la, la. And that's how things start. But you have to open up your mouth and feed those guys. They'll feed you. They'll be there for you as long as you were there for them. Because once you say goodbye, and I can tell you that from my experience when I was a shipper, and I tell shippers this: if you have a corral and things are bad, and then you go to the lowest rate that's out there and you bring in new blood, and then all of a sudden the market changes and you want to go back to your incumbent carriers that you just let go, guess what they're going to tell you? Go fuck yourself. Because you know what? Where we do,
with all due respect.
Yeah. Exactly. Because they're going to come back and say, well, what have you done for me lately? Why should I go back and help you out? Because you're in a pickle and you can't get your ass out of it. The thing is, that's why you need to make these relationships and build them. You really do, man.
Yeah. Well, and going back to the trust issue between brokers and carriers, it's interesting building an organization and building an event or a network that we're trying to build that's based on trust. We operate at that high level with that high bar as well. One of the things that people may not know is that I personally screen every company that wants to attend the summit. So if you are a broker who is known for having dodgy business practices, even if you sign up and pay the fee, I'll give you a refund and tell you to go away.
No, tell it the way that you're really going to say, Dan.
Hold on. Hear me out here. Hold on. I think we're missing a really good segment here. You need to like let like 3 or 4 of them come, and then like let a group of us just like fuck with them the whole time, man.
Hey, we are 2 for 2 with 0 security issues. That's a good record. I'm gonna.
Well, I don't mean like physically, man. You know what I mean? Like, dude, how fun would it be to have a couple of double brokers in a room full of carriers and brokers? Like,
oh man.
Nah, you wouldn't
come
want
on.
that. They wouldn't come out alive.
Hey, you just put him up on stage as a special speaker. Don't even tell him. Just put him up.
Yeah, so and so wants to talk about how you benefit from double brokering.
Yeah, I could tell you that if you ask that question when I'm there, man, I'm gonna just. It's a simple one. Me, why I don't like carriers? They're fucking crybabies. that's what I would say. No, I wouldn't say that, man. But
Well, you won't be coming to our summit, man.
No, I would be 100% professional, man. This show is my way to be anti-professional. No, I love carriers, man. Honestly, I mean, even though I'm a broker, I'm telling you, dude, right now, as I speak to you, I am at my heart a driver. Like, man, there are so many days where I think about being out there in a truck, just looking over that hood, open fucking highway, cruise set at 70, radio at maximum, man, with my CD changer fully stacked. That's right, my CD changer. That's how old I am.
Hey, you know what? You got a great idea there, Robert. How about this? How about a requirement of being a broker is that you have to go for a ride with a carrier in his truck and see what they do on the road to get a really good understanding. I did it a very long time ago.
I
did.
I like that.
I said it.
And vice versa. Have a carrier come into a brokerage agency and watch how they do work and understand the intricacies of what they do. The same when a carrier, when they do their paperwork, when they go to pick up, the delay, the detention, all the bullshit that goes on with them, you will have a better perspective of the industry. You know, I push that all the time, man. I was lucky enough to do that. That's why I have that knowledge.
I'll tell you, man, I am all for that, man. And I'll speak on this from a former driver's perspective, dude. When you're a driver out there, man, and I only drove for a company, man. I drove for big companies and stuff, so I didn't have to deal with brokers. But when you're a driver, man, and you've got some moron calling you, you know, complaining about this, that, the third, and what's going on, why are you late, why your truck moving, all that stuff, you know, and it's like, you know, and it's like, dude, are you kidding me? Like, you don't know a fucking thing that's going on out here. Like, there's 4 feet of snow on the side of the ground. There's 15 wrecked trucks in front of me. What do you want me to do? Grow wings and fly? You know what I'm saying? And it's, or, you know, they call you, where are you at? Dude, you're tracking me. Why are you calling me with stupid fucking questions right now? You know what I mean? Like, and it was all drivers, dude, they say it. There's like, you know, hey, if you could just come out here and be in a truck for a day, for a week, like see what it is to wash your clothes in a washing machine that 15,000 other people have, to take a shower in a shower that wasn't properly clean, to back then do a dock, deal with brokers, all that stuff. And same thing as a carrier, man. You know, carriers, they think, oh, we're all just sitting in our cushy air conditioned offices, so forth, so on. And that's for the most part, it is true. But, you know, so you don't understand. You're not getting calls at 2 a.m. 2 or 3 times a week like I am asking about this. You're not having to stop and interrupt this thing to go deal with that. You know, you don't have to deal with the sales, the paperwork, all this accounting, all these little things that we do, the bitching from you as the carrier, the bitching from the shipper. So I agree, man. Honestly, I think that I'll go back this way. Dan will understand this 100%. In the military, one of the first things that they teach you if you want to climb the ranks is you know the job of the person above you and below you. And only that way can you be the best that you can be in your position. And to me, that goes to this. Like, how can you be a great broker and know all these things and speak all this stuff if you've never been in a truck and you don't know what it is to be out there? You as a carrier, how can you complain and say you know everything about a broker, but you've never been in a broker's shoes, you know? So I'm for it, man. Let's go to Supreme Court.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is a good leader is always in the trenches with their troops. I don't care who the hell you are, because if you're just sitting in your office, not doing anything and just letting them run rampant all over the freaking place, you're not learning a damn thing. You know, you have to be on the front lines. You know, you have to be in the trenches. You have to know the mechanisms of the logistics industry and how it turns and burns every single day of the week. You always have to look and be proactive and look at the what if scenarios, because it will blindside you. It's very predictable in logistics. It's going to happen. It's not an easy industry. Shit happens every single day. And if you could just write them down and think about that, use your knowledge, use your experience, and tell your team that, you know, hey, have you ever thought of this? You know, always thought provoking, lead them to the water boat, but whatever you do, don't show them how to drink. Let them uncover that themselves, because once they delve into it and understand it, there's no other better learning technique than doing it hands-on, not listening to it, hands-on, be there, do it. But the other thing too that I wanted to quickly talk about, which we don't talk about much, that the broker Carrier Summit could look into, is the treatment of women by men in the carrier side. It's been going on for a long period of time. We don't want to shun the women out. We want the women to come and join us at the Broker Carrier Summit. You know, shed their, you know, their problems. Let it be known out there, both on the carrier, both on their fellow carriers that are out there, the people that they work with, the brokers that they work with. I think it's you know, it's very good to go and do something like that, so they have a better perspective of what women go through in the industry.
I think that would be awesome, man. Even on our side, man, like we have a lot of females here, you know, they primarily work the phones and stuff. And we do it for two reasons. A, you know, a woman's voice is nicer to hear than some raspy ass man calling you asking about a load. But, you know,
I got a sexy voice, man. I don't know what you're talking about, dude.
But one of the things is a lot of these drivers, man, they talk to them like absolute trash. Like some of the things they say to them, and it's like, man, seriously? Like, dude, if I was in front of you right now, I would throat punch you. Like, you can't talk to. So it is a huge thing.
Fire your ass.
That's a fantastic topic.
Yeah, I would fire an ass. I would fire their ass if somebody did that in front of me, and you're condescending and all that kind of stuff, like they're better than them. Let me tell you something. Over my career, I worked with women that would kick your ass, you know, and they've always been underpaid. That's a whole different segment. But man, it's time to lift these women up. Support them, give them equal pay. They're doing the same job as men drivers out there. You know, don't fuck them over.
Well, a lot of times they do it better. A lot of times they do it better.
They do. Like, they're more organized.
You ever have to have a dude multitask and do shit like
they
multiple
can't
things
do
at
it
the same time? We can't do that. You've seen a mom feed 3 kids, manage the schedule, go to the grocery store while driving a car and talking on the phone. Yes,
that's right. That's
good grief, man.
Right. You know, I support women in trucking, you know, definitely 100%. All the way. I've supported them over the last 4 decades. And the women out there that have worked for me or that I've hired and pulled my shipments, they would all say that I was kind. I'm not trying. This is not ego driven, but that's the way you got to operate, man. You want to be successful. Treat people the way you want to be treated. It's simple as that. Don't treat them like shit.
Yeah.
Pisses me off, man. It really does. Pisses me off.
Yeah, it is a horrible issue, man. In our industry, and I mean, you want to say, I mean, it's in a lot of issues because a lot of things are male dominated, but there are certain industries where men are like trying to be super alphas in it, and logistics, and especially truck drivers. I will say, like, that is a industry where, you know, hey, they may treat their old lady, you know, amazing, but, you know, they may not have the same respect for a female that is doing the same job as them, man. You know, and I've been out there and seen it. And I hate this period, but I've been to truck stops, man, or to shipper, and, you know, a woman trying to back a truck in or close the doors, you know, because, you know, they're shorter. Sometimes, man, you know, it's hard to close the doors, you know, just anything. They sit there and make jokes. you know what I mean, and laugh about it, you know, and I, of course I'm the one, and or others are the ones that get out and do it, but it's sickening, man, you know, and I agree with what Dan said, man. They do it better a lot of the times, and that's one of the reasons. One of the other reasons we employ a lot of women here, man, is they do. I mean, right now I've got one of my managers. She's talking to me through DM and through 4 tracking streams at the same fucking time. I can't keep. That's why I keep looking up, because I'm trying to keep up with her.
Yeah. Ask a guy how that's done. I have no idea how that's even done. I can answer one email at a time, and I can't even, you know, nothing else happens.
Here's the kicker. All she has is a laptop. I've got 323-inch screens over here, and I still can't keep up.
Yeah. So I mean, we got to put, you know, and I'm being serious when I say this, guys. We have to support women much more than what we do, and you know, we have to talk to them and help other male truck drivers out there, as well as brokers, understand women and treat them kindly. You know, you just think about that. You know, they're different than us, of course. They have a different DNA, of course, but they do the same thing. They do it better, and they know how to talk to shippers and brokers. They're kind because they're trying to help. I have never met a woman driver or a woman broker who wasn't kind on the phone.
Yeah,
not one. But man, I have definitely spoke to a lot of asshole truck drivers who are men and brokers who think they knew freaking everything and condescending and all this kind of stuff. It's just ridiculous. It really is.
You know what? I think, I mean, if it's something that is interesting, like I love that, dude. Like, I like when people come up with ideas, man, out of nowhere like that. Man, the women, isn't there like a women's in trucking event?
Oh, there is.
There is, yeah.
Do a collab, bro. Have one of them come to the Broken Carrier Summit, and then y'all go to the Women in Trucking Summit, dude.
I tried to go down. I tried to go this last November down there in November 5th in Dallas. I was invited to go, but I just couldn't fit it in the schedule. But you know, I'm a member of Women in Trucking. You know, definitely go out there, register, man. You know, support them. They have, you know, they have their own website, of course. But they also have women talking about the problems, and there's some guys that are, you know, commenting on them. They're all supportive. Actually, I think there's like, I think like 80-something% women and about 20-something% or something like that men. But we need to equal it out. You know, we need to make it equal to show the support from the guy side.
I will, man. And you know, Dan,
do it, man. Hunter, go there. Pedro, go do that. Dan, are you a member?
No, but I do plan on going to the Accelerate conference they're holding. It's Dallas every year, right?
Yeah. Yes, they just had it November 5th through the 8th, and they'll have it again. But I definitely want to go down there for sure.
Yeah, I'll be going down there.
Good deal.
Dude, how do y'all keep up with all these damn events? Like, I'm like, I know everybody's gonna laugh at me with this, but I'll tell you what, this manifest thing that everyone's talking about, dude, I found out about that like 3 fucking weeks ago when someone invited me to it. Like, I was talking to a shipper. And he's like, dude, he's like, it's just conversation. I told him about the lounge, and he went and checked it out. And he's like, holy shit, man. He's like, I love that stuff. I love y'all's page. He's like, are you going to Manifest? If so, I'll buy you dinner. Let's drink. Let's hang out. Let's talk business. And I didn't even want to reply back. Go, what's Manifest? Like, I looked it up. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. But dude, since then, I've had 4 people ask me if I'm going, and I've seen like 50 people talking about it. So I don't know how y'all keep up with all these damn events and stuff, man.
So are you going
to Manifest? No, because again, I just heard about like 3 weeks ago, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like trying to find and in Vegas, in the y'all all know, man, Vegas is convention capital of the world, especially in the cold months, because it's more I bet you trying to get a hotel anywhere near what's going on at that thing, dude. You're probably going to drive from Reno.
Yeah, I got my hotel room, so I am going to manifest. Because a lot of our sponsors are going to be there, and I want to make sure to network with them while we're there. I got my hotel room in October, and I looked at the rates today because it's the week before the Super Bowl, and I was like, damn.
Yeah, they're up there. They're up there.
One of the only events I've got planned this year is some shipper conferences, man. I'll tell you, I've never even thought about going to an event to where like it's other brokers. And I don't remember who said it. It was someone said it early in my career and it just stuck with me. And it's like, why do you want to go to an event with other people that do the same thing you do? I'm like, well, it seems cool, but at the same time, like I get it, like I'm gonna spend the money. I'm like, I'll just go to chipper events. But people are changing my mind with all these pictures, just like the whole freight, the F3 or whatever, and then like Manifest and the Broker Carrier Summit. Since Dan's been talking about it, I'm like, man, I need to start going to more of these things with my people. Like that's what's shaking bacon.
Well, there's always something you can learn. Back to Jeff's point, like if linkage, if my freight brokerage only relied on what I knew, we'd be freaking hosed, man. It'd be a bad day. You need to be able to learn from others who have been in the same trenches that you've been in, and learn the lessons they learned before you have to experience it yourself. So it's valuable.
Chris? Okay. All right, Chris. Hey, we're gonna hold Hunter. You see that, right? You see that?
Oh yeah. I'm looking at plane tickets already.
We're gonna hold you to that.
Looks like someone's going to Vegas.
Yeah, that's Chris Allen. I don't know why his stuff never shows up in our things. We're the few people that it doesn't show his name or whatever. So yeah, that's Chris. Claudia. You're going to Carrier. See, what the hell is Carrier Assure? I don't know. I know it's a company.
That's in Tampa. That's Cassandra's business.
Oh, I know. We were talking about trying to get them on the show, man. You gotta hook us up, dude. Jared Ross was talking about helping us get with them to get her on the show.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, she'd be cool. Carrier Assure. I didn't even know they were doing something either, man. So that was a lot to unpack. We covered so much in an hour. We really did. But I want to say that I love it, Dan. Like I really do. Ever since I saw Jeff talking about it, I looked into it and it's piqued my interest. And Jeff, not because you're on the show, I'm not saying this for any points, man, but whatever. But like I highly respect Jeff. Like, I mean, the person I respect most in this business is my boss, Kyle. And Jeff is right there next to him, man. So, like, if Jeff says something good or he says, man, you got to do this, like, I mean, I call you're like the Allstate guy. I can't remember his name, but he was the black guy from like in the early 2000s, remember? And he would say stuff. And I always told my wife, I said, that guy can make me jump off a damn cliff. Like no matter what he says, you do it without asking. And that's how Jeff is to me in this business. Like he says, man, you got to do it. No questions asked. I don't even have to do much research into it. If he okays it, I know it's cool. And
so how's that working out for you?
Yeah. It's doing good, man. I've actually, from when you were on the show last, and just I follow your content, man. Like I have notifications set up for you, Jeff. So every time you post something, dude, like I may not like everything, but I promise you, I read and see everything that you do, bro. But like I've taken some of the stuff you used, about tips of reaching out to shippers, and you and Hunter had a talk, and he told me about some of that stuff. So it is, man. It is working out for me, man. I am implementing things that you talk about, and some stuff others talk about. It's helped me out. But my point is, Dan, is it makes me happy that a broker of all people is the one who really saw this as a problem that we need to address. Like we all know it's there, you know what I mean? It's kind of like that ugly guy in the corner back there that nobody wants to dance with. You know what I mean? Like it's just sitting over there.
Man, he's on the
That's
floor.
usually me too. I was that guy.
But it's, it's the thing over in the corner, the person in the corner that nobody addresses. You know what I mean? It just kind of floats over there, all creepy and everything, and no one goes and asks them any questions. What's going on, and it is. I think that putting it together as a summit, an event, is definitely the way to go about it. You know what I mean? Because and especially in person, because dude, we could connect here, but once we all meet each other in person, it's going to take the relationship to the next level. And I think a carrier and a broker, same way, even if you never met each other, man, it's
Sure.
different to hash things out and talk about problems face to face over a beer or a steak or some barbecue, since you're going to be in Kansas City, than it is sit behind a screen and stuff, man. And the fact that you're continuing it, you're saying, hey, we can't solve this in just one event period. Shit, we can't solve this in one event a year. We need to stay on top of this. And I may be thinking off base here, but my thought to it is that you're just like me with this, and you're like, it has to be consistent because the problems and the landscape is always changing. You know what I mean? Like we may solve the rate problem this year, but it may rear its ugly head next year, or we may solve the layover fee or whatever, you know what I mean? And so I love how you're taking it and trying to grow it, man, and make it turn it into a consistent thing and bring people together. Because like Jeff uses as the example of a broker should be in a truck to see how a carrier is, and a carrier should be, this gives us the opportunity to do that. And hey, speaking of that, man, did any of those drivers come in their trucks, or did they all come privately? The POV.
So we had a number of drivers come to Indianapolis in their rigs. Tampa is not the most truck friendly place. So if we did have drivers come in their rigs, they parked off site. That's one of the things that we're working on with Kansas City. We're working on some truck parking so people can drive their trucks up to the hotel or close to the venue. I want to touch on something that you mentioned as well. You mentioned it not being able to be solved in one event. I don't even think it can be solved in multiple events.
No.
Let me pull the curtain back for you a little bit. We're not just with the Broker Carrier Summit. And I don't want to get ahead of myself here, but we're not just about creating another recurring event.
Right.
The goal of the summit is to build a kind of call it a preferred provider network. So if you're affiliated with the summit as a broker or a carrier, the expectation is you do business at a higher standard. And all of our sponsors, tech sponsors, factoring companies, support companies, if you're affiliated with our network, the expectation is going to be that you do business in a better way. And so we'll be rolling more of that out at Kansas City and before our fall conference. But we're going to be creating a network here.
Dude, I love that. I'm an affiliate of the Broker Carrier Summit. Give me your business. That's what I do. Yeah, we make some. We pay you $100 a year to be a member, whatever it is. So we get your fancy little newsletter and look at your pretty face, and then we just go to people and say, "I'm an affiliate of the Broker Carrier Summit." That's gonna be my sales line.
Hey, I'll tell you what, some of the best ideas, and Dan will tell you, is to have a conversation over a nice stogie. Right, Dan?
Absolutely. And if you can do two, do two.
Hey, hold on. I gotta say, this is my son's, but this is my son's humidor.
Very nice.
And there's I don't know. I know one of them on top is a $50 cigar, which I know $50 is pricey for a damn stogie, man. That's
an expensive stick.
There you go. Because I smoke stogies with him, man, and there is nothing like smoking a stick, man. Drinking a beer, some whiskey or bourbon, and just
we know nothing about that. We know nothing about that.
Anybody knows has to hook up on some Cubans, I would love to have a Cuban again. I have only had 2 in my life. Man, those are some good sticks right there, dude.
Cubans are good.
They are amazing. Well, Hunter, do you have anything you want to say to these fine gentlemen before we get to
Yeah. Hey, Dan, for your parking problems at the events, you need to reach out to truckparkingclub.com, the Airbnb of truck parking.
Yeah, I think I've been talking to them, and I can't remember the name of the other company offhand, but yes.
Yeah, they'll take care of you. But Yeah, fellas, I definitely appreciate you being here, Jeff and Dan. You both. I mean, it's really cool to see what you guys have really brought to life just over not even a year, really, if you think about it. And going from 200 to hearing Jeff saying y'all are shooting for 1,000, that's huge. And I mean, just the topics y'all are talking about and the movement you're making is exactly. I mean, that lines up with what we're doing here at the lounge. I mean, it is not rocket science. As long as we have these conversations and we get down to the nitty gritty, and like obviously nobody's ever going to go agree with every single thing, but to come to like a level of understanding and really just working side by side, I mean, that's going to make a world of a difference. So
Go big
definitely
and go
love it.
home.
Go big, go home. That's it, bro. That's it. Can't take over a city by yourself.
That's right.
But yeah, but definitely look forward to hearing about some of the more events coming up, and hopefully we'll be there on Podcast Row.
Yeah. Show
Do
up.
it. We'd love to have you, man. Do
a
Find
live
a way.
stream of the
Find a way.
event. I'll get you guys some press passes. We'll make that happen.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. That'll be the deal. And before I say my final thing, hey Dan, I mean, weird question, dude. I'm a weird question guy. How do you pick the locations that you're going to have the summits in? Like you just like literally throw a dart at the map or what?
It's a modification to that process. Usually I drink a couple of bourbons and I figure out what kind of food I like. So for Indianapolis, the first one, it was home. So Indianapolis is home. So I was like, well, I'm not going to, I don't know how this is going to go. So I'm not going to just, try and go across country and set this up. I'm going to do it in my backyard. Once that one was successful, I asked the attendees at Indianapolis, what do you want to see out of the next one? And the overwhelming response was have it somewhere sunny. And so we decided on Tampa, Florida. One of the biggest, one of the only complaints from Tampa was the quality of the food. So we asked the question, what kind of food would everybody agree on? And I think barbecue is pretty all-American cuisine. So
and you chose Kansas for that?
Well, Kansas
taking it away right there, man.
I know, and we're willing to have that debate over some brisket. And it's also so Kansas City is easily accessible by truck, by car. You're 8 hours from literally everywhere almost. So
here's another thing too, if I may add, Dan, is that the ultimate goal that we're trying to do is that we're trying to hit every major geographical area, not just in Kansas City and be on the East Coast, but we want to get maybe down to Texas or Southern California up to the Pacific Northwest. We want to bring this summit to everybody to give them the opportunity to attend, to tell everybody their story and what's bothering them. That's the ultimate goal of the Broker Carrier Summit.
Absolutely. I thought about being one of these and having it in Glendale, California, and then not inviting any of the double brokers that live there.
They don't live there, man. They don't live there.
The PO boxes, man, just don't.
Well, I'll tell you, if you want to have it in a place where every broker can go, you just have it in Phoenix. I don't know what it is about fucking Phoenix, but it seems every broker and their mother lives in Phoenix. I want to say, Dan, I'm glad you brought up Indianapolis, dude. I totally was going to talk to you about this backstage, but when I stopped driving, the last driving job that I had, I used to do a dedicated route for Dan, and I used to deliver or pick up from Zentis up there in Plymouth, Indiana, and take it back to Fort Worth, dude. I used to cruise right through freaking Noblesville. And I'll tell you a story, man. I actually talked about this a few weeks ago on the show, but nobody would have known what I was talking about. So when you're coming down 31, coming into the loop in Indianapolis, right as you get into Noblesville, you know how there's that bridge? It's probably like a mile long. And dude, it was freaking 3 o'clock in the morning. It had snowed the day before. I thought everything was cool. I was doing like 60 miles an hour, just rolling along. And all of a sudden, the car in front of me starts spinning out of control. I freaking let my foot off the gas. I hit that bridge, and my truck starts to go sideways. Dude, that Hey, I'm telling you what, if I would have had coal under my butt, I'd have been, boy, that is the scariest moment I've ever had as a driver. I've slid before, but never at 60 miles an hour in a 78,000-pound truck, man. So yeah, dude, when I saw you from Noblesville, I'm gonna tell him about that. You'll know exactly what I'm fucking talking about.
I know exactly where you're talking about too. And if that's not enough, the construction around Indianapolis is never ending on the roads, so it's a nightmare. So
I love that run only because I made friends with the shipping manager in Plymouth, which we're still friends to this day. He actually just came and saw me a few months ago. But I hated it, but I loved it for that because that dude was always cool, man. We could go to his house if we wanted to, and it was just an enjoyable thing, whatever. But you're right, man. I'll tell you, as soon as I entered Indiana, I wanted to leave it because of the roads. Like, I mean, you would be hard pressed to rate a state with worse roads than Indiana, man.
No, and Indianapolis is the worst offender of all of them. Like the potholes, like it's just one giant pothole in Indianapolis. It's great.
You're right, dude. Hey, when someone goes missing in Indianapolis, they go check the potholes first. That's what happens.
They do. True story.
Anyway, Dan, again, we really are so happy that you came on. We want to have you on again. I mean, absolutely. Dude, what you're doing, I mean, obviously people tell you all the time, so we're just going to tell you again. Incredible thing. You know, one of those things that it takes someone thinking out the box to come up with something like this and try to bridge that divide. And I honestly think that's the best analogy you can kind of use for it, man, is bridging that divide. It is, you know, we're brokers are standing over here on this side of the channel, and you know the carriers are over here on this side of the channel, and the ferry is not working. You know what I mean? And so someone somewhere has to come along. We got to build that bridge and get one of us, get one party of us to the other side, so we can start hashing these things out. And although you're just starting out, man, all the greatest movements, start small. Like Hunter just said, I mean, y'all are talking up over 1,000 people now, and your events are going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, man. And more people are noticing it, which is why we wanted to bring you on the show. We wanted to, offer our little platform as another way for you guys to get your info out there. I mean, we're not no Jeff Dickinson or anything, but we try to do our part over here. Do you have anything that you want to say, Dan, before we scoot on out of here and go enjoy some brewskis?
Yeah, just if you want to register, go ahead and visit our website, brokercarriersummit.com. It'll take you to our event site. If you have any questions also, you can email us directly. And by us, I mean me directly at contact@brokercarriersummit.com as well. I'll be happy to talk. One of the biggest thrills that I get is when carriers send me an email and ask me, hey, what's this summit thing that I keep hearing about? And then I get a chance to jump on the phone and talk to them about, and then they find it valuable. And then they find out that I own a brokerage. And they're like, oh, so you're a broker and you're doing this. Yes. And it's just, we're able to bridge that gap on the phone. So reach out
and
to
just
me
one more thing too.
Website.
Yeah. Let me just add to Dan. If you use promo code Cowboy1, I'll give you an additional 5% off the registration fee.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Cowboy, the number one.
Number one.
Yep.
Yeah. Never mind. I was trying to think of a joke, but I can't, man. Damn it. Dang it. I know there was a good one there somewhere. I'm going to think of it when the show ends. I'm going to DM it to Jeff. Anyway, that all being said, everyone, we appreciate y'all watching. We know that a lot was said in this show. I mean, even though it was only an hour and 18 minutes so far, I feel like a lot was put out, and I think that some of these things are worth you going back and watching this again and listening to the stuff that Dan has put out and what his and his team's mission is and what Jeff's mission is with them and what now our mission is with them. You can never get people together enough in any industry, in any situation, especially one like ours where there's a lot of problems, because that's the only way that things get figured out is getting people together, having round tables and luncheons and smoking sticks and drinking bourbon and coming together and to figure out, hey, how can we solve this to make this better? Because there's a lot of things in this world that are going to go bye-bye in the next 6 months, year, 2 years, 10 years, but logistics is always going to be here. And no matter what you think about autonomous trucks and all that shit, truckers are always going to be here. We're always going to be working in the same atmosphere, in the same industry. We're going to do the same things forever and ever and ever. And we need to find a median point. And we ain't got to get along, but we got to start understanding each other. And I think that is the biggest issue in our industry is, hey, we ain't got to get along, but I need to have an understanding for you and you for me. And that's the way that we're both going to be successful and make a difference in this industry, especially against the problems we have, like fraud, Dan. I don't know if that's something you guys, touch on your stuff, but that's it, man.
Yep.
Brokers and carriers both deal with it. And it's things like this that help us come together and bring those topics to the table in the forefront and find a way to solve them. So before we end our show here, going to give some love to Lane Runner. As I've said, man, with the show with Tech Tools Days, this is an incredible tool. Me personally, I'm using it. I have started using it to do rates as of today. And I'm telling you, it offers some great insight. Everything is updated continuously throughout the day. It is data that comes from both brokers and carriers and shippers. This is real stuff that people are booking freight for. It is not some, mitigated, some messed up data coming from some company that has no freaking skin in the game. Really, what more can you say? If you're not using them, go use them now. If you go there, sign up, you use Logistics Lounge, they'll give you a discount, and they'll also throw us something, and Hunter and I can go out and afford some double cheeseburgers.
Welcome to the future of trucking with Lane Runner. Up to the minute, trustworthy spot market freight rates. Experience real-time, full truckload spot market rates at your fingertips. Stay ahead with our advanced rate alert system, ensuring you never miss a market move. Gain insights with our detailed high and low paying lane reports. Make informed decisions with comprehensive market reports tailored for your business needs. Lane Runner, accurate, real-time spot market freight rates at your fingertips. Efficiency, reliability, and profitability all in one platform. Join Lane Runner today and take your logistics to the next level. Spot market, spot on.
Spot on. Man, I love that. I told Jesse, I was like, Jesse, that is the longest damn commercial we are ever going to play on our show. He replied back to me. He said, Rob, I could have made it 2 minutes. I still had more stuff to add. I was like, bro, please just send me like 3 more and we'll circulate them or something, man. All right. Shoreline Capital, Clint Weston and his team over there help you out with all your factoring and fuel card needs. Hey, you're a broker, shipper, carrier. Everybody's got invoices. Not very many people can wait for net terms to come around to collect on that money. Hence, you need a factoring company. You could go do business with some of these big guys that are just going to rip you off and nickel and dime your ass to death, keep you in a contract forever and give you one reason after another why they haven't paid you on time. But with Clint, he's going to give you a cell phone. You just call him at 3 o'clock in the morning and ask him where your money is. All right, ladies and germs, that is going to do it for us today on this hump day. We appreciate all of y'all tuning in, all of our lovely lounge lizards, Claudia, Chris, Bill. We didn't see Matt today. That was weird. Yeah, Dan, you're a lounge lizard now too. You can laugh, but you're a lounge lizard.
I'll laugh. It's all right. I've been called worse.
We want everyone to stay tuned to the channel tomorrow. We have a driver coming on that's going to talk about whatever drivers talk about. Really, really funny guy. Follow him on social media. Just going to be a great conversation. And then Friday, we go back to Freight Fraud Friday on a freestyle Friday. Say that shit 4 times fast.
No, thanks.
Yeah, a lot of F words.
Not happening.
We will have infamous, the man, the myth, the legend, Tim Bannon from the Bannon Report coming on Friday, along with Claudia Catlett. And we got a slew of other badass guests coming up this month. So we appreciate all the love that y'all have given us. And I forgot to say, We hit 600 followers today. How freaking amazing is that? We've been gaining 100+ followers a week, man. We think we're going to hit 1,000 before the end of January. So we appreciate all the love. If y'all out there, as always, like, share, do the follow thing, blase. Continue bringing content out to y'all and try to make this a place that everybody wants to come and have a good time. Mr. Hunter, you know what time it is?
Tell me.
Time to roll that beautiful green footage.
See y'all tomorrow.